now give the floor to Ms. Nesmah Mansoor Ali.
President, Your Excellencies, thank you, Denmark, for giving me the opportunity to brief the Council. My name is Nesmah Mansoor Ali. I am the Senior Policy and Communication Officer representing Peace Track Initiative and Women's Solidarity Network. Our work focuses on climate justice, inclusive peace building, and protecting women's rights in Yemen. Today, I will highlight the urgent threats posed by Yemen's protracted conflict, climate change, and the deterioration of human rights. Yemen has been ravaged by over a decade of armed conflict, coupled with environmental degradation and climate crisis. These realities have weakened state institutions and collapsed social protection systems, creating multi-dimensional insecurities that left vulnerable population, particularly rural and marginalized women, on the brink of survival. I am a migrant of conflict and climate change. I was forced to leave my hometown Aden and parted with my family in 2020. Life at the time in Aden and continues to be unbearable, with scorching temperatures, chronic water shortages, and relentless power cuts at the time amidst of COVID-19. Every day was a struggle to manage the brief 2-hour window of electricity, juggling either to run the pump to fill the water tanks, or to do laundry, or charging our devices, or at least to snatch a few moments of sleep under the relief of air conditioning. Leaving Aden was a necessity for survival and a painful testament of how conflict and climate change can uproot lives, and tear families apart. President, Your Excellencies, the war have devastated Yemen's environments and ecosystem. Attacks on oil refineries and ports, indiscriminate landmines in agricultural land and coastal areas, leaks of oil and toxins, the destruction of critical infrastructure like power stations and water system left Yemen in ruins. I will never forget the towering plume of smoke that covered the city when the Houthis attacked Aden's refinery in 2015. A dark cloud choked the air and left the city in despair. This scenario repeated itself as Israel attacked over 24 oil storage last year in Hodeida's port. The marine systems are being destroyed. Oil spills, unregulated fishing, untreated sewage water have polluted the coastal waters, destroyed fish populations, and endangered public health. Landmines are making it dangerous to grow food or to access water, worsening food insecurity. Climate change is deepening the crisis in Yemen. Floods are displacing landmines and making the demining efforts more complicated than they are. They are also exacerbating the pre-war intertribal conflicts that are over resources that claim almost 4,000 lives annually. President, Your Excellencies, women, especially those who lead households, are disproportionately affected by climate change. A survey by our partners at South 24 found that 88% of women in Aden, Hadramaut, and Al Mahra have reported that climate change is damaging their income-generative activities, such as salt extraction, fish drying, and handcrafts. Additionally, cultural norms further hinder women's resilience, as they are often discouraged from learning to swim and leaving them vulnerable during floods and cyclones. Consulting with women across Yemen, I have heard heartbreaking stories of how the intersection of climate change and armed conflict is upending their life. Aisha, a fisherwoman from Aden, have shared the fish are vanishing. We are forced to wander into the dangerous water just to survive. Aisha's words shows the desperation of coastal communities as pollution, overfishing, and climate change deplete their livelihoods. Fatima, a woman from Al-Mahra, shared how she survived Tig cyclone in 2023 that destroyed her family's agricultural land, their only source of income. Meanwhile, Sumaya, a young entrepreneur and a friend of mine, had to abandon her dream of opening a chocolate business due to rising temperatures, increasing costs of raw materials, and endless power cuts. President, Your Excellencies, the women's stories of determination amid vanishing fish, ruined crops, the deterred dream highlight their unwavering strength as they confront the harsh realities of climate change. As we approach Women's International Day and the mark of the anniversary of the Beijing platform, it is imperative that we prioritize the impacts of climate change and conflict on achieving gender equality. To conclude, I call on the UN Security Council to act decisively before challenges push an already suffering population past the point of return, and to take into consideration these recommendations. First, prioritize climate-responsive peacebuilding by integrating climate change into peace negotiations, ensuring that climate adaptation and environmental restoration are central to any peace agreement or political settlement in Yemen. Second, demand that the Sanctions Committee investigate environmental destruction as a potential war crime, including attacks on critical infrastructure such as oil refineries, ports, water systems, and demand accountability for environmental destruction. Third, ensure full inclusion of women in all peace and political processes and support and fund local peace initiatives, including those that address intertribal conflicts over water and land. Fifth, promote environmental rehabilitation by supporting programs to clean up oil and toxin spills, remove landmines from agriculture and coastal areas, and restore damaged ecosystems, particularly in fishing zones and farming communities. Fifth, support enforcing environmental regulations, working with national and local teams as well as international partners to strengthen environmental governance and regulate private sector activities that contribute to the pollution and resource depletion. Finally, provide targeted support for women-led households by expanding social protection programs such as cash transfers and livelihood support. Thank you.
I thank Ms. Mansoor Ali for her briefing. I now give the floor to those council members who wish to make statements. I give the floor to the representative of the United Kingdom.